So in our previous two videos, we looked at how to find the area of a parallelogram and how to find the area of a rectangle. So in this video, we'll be reviewing how to find the area of a triangle. So let's just review area again. Area is the amount of surface a shape occupies. And so to find area of a triangle, we can use this formula over here, which is area equals base times height divided by 2. And so to find the area of a triangle, you may come across three different types of triangles. So over here we have a right triangle, and a right triangle has a 90-degree angle. So this would be the height, and this would be the base. Over here we have an acute triangle. So an acute triangle has angles that are less than 90 degrees. So again, our base would be down here, and then our height would be from the top, the highest point down. So it would be right over here. And lastly, we would have a obtuse triangle. So again, the base would be over here, and then the height would be measured from the highest point down. So the height would be right over here. And so if I had measurements for each one of these triangles, I could use them to substitute into this formula over here, which is area equals base times height divided by 2. And that would help me find the amount of surface that this triangle occupies. So you may have noticed that the formula for finding the area of a triangle, which is area equals base times height divided by 2, is very similar to the formula of finding the area of a parallelogram, which is area equals base times height. So let's look at the relationship between a triangle and a parallelogram. So over here in number 1, I have an acute triangle. So if I were to take this triangle and I were to duplicate it like here, and then I would take this triangle and I would flip it or rotate it 180 degrees. So now I have the two triangles, one's flipped over. And I would take these two triangles and I would join them together. You can now see that I have created a parallelogram. So to find the area of this parallelogram, we could use our formula here, which is area equals base times height. And then if I divided this in half, like right over here, I could then find the area of just this triangle or this triangle, in which I could use my formula area equals base times height divided by 2. So you can see the relationship between a triangle and a parallelogram there. And then this would also apply if I had an obtuse triangle. So if I had an obtuse triangle like this one, and then I were to duplicate this triangle and then rotate 180 degrees and then join them together, you can now see that I have created a parallelogram again. And so if I were to find the area of the original triangle, I could use this formula, which is area equals base times height divided by 2. And then if I also had a right triangle, so this one would be a little more different. So here is my right triangle, and this is my 90-degree angle. If I were to take this triangle and I were to duplicate it, and then rotate it 180 degrees, and then join them together, you can see that I've now created a rectangle. So to find the area of this rectangle, we would use the formula area equals length times width. And if I wanted to find half of this rectangle, so if I were to divide this in half and I wanted to find the area of this triangle or this triangle, I would use the formula for the triangle, which is area equals base times height divided by 2. So here is your first task. I would like you to find the area of this triangle using the triangle that you have and using the measurements that you have. So go ahead and pause. Okay, and welcome back. So my task was to find the area of this triangle using the measurements I already have. So I know that I have a base of 14 meters, and then my height would be here. So this is an obtuse triangle, so I look at my highest point, and then I bring it down, which is 10 meters. So this would be my height. So I can use the information that I have to find the area of this triangle. So I start off with my formula, which is area equals base times height divided by 2. And then I can go ahead and substitute the information that I have. So my base is 14 meters times my height, which is 10 meters, divided by 2. And then I go ahead and solve for my brackets first, as that comes first in BEDMAS. So I can show my work here on the side. So 10 times 14. So 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4. I can add a 0 or a x there. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. Then I would go ahead and add these together. That would be 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. And then 1. So I know it comes to 140 meters. I can go ahead and I can plug that in. So 14 meters times 10 meters equals 140 meters. And I would divide by 2. So I know that 140 divided by 2 is 70. And so my area would be 70 square meters. Okay, so here is your second task. I would like you to find the area of a right triangle with a base of 32 centimeters and a height of 18 centimeters. So go ahead and pause. Okay, and welcome back. So using this information I can draw myself a diagram to help me visualize the triangle. So I know I have a right triangle, so here is my right triangle. That's my angle of 90 degrees. And I can go ahead and label it. So I know I have a base of 32 centimeters. So my base is down here. And then my height would be over here, which is 18 centimeters. I can go ahead and use this information to plug into my formula. So my formula is area equals base times height divided by 2. And then area equals, my base is 32 centimeters times my height, which is 18 centimeters, divided by 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve for my brackets first. So I can do my work here again on the side. And it's always important to show your work. So 32 times 18. So 8 times 2 is 16. And the 1 gets carried over. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 1, 25. My 0 goes there. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. I can go ahead and add. So 6 plus 0 is 6. 5 plus 2 is 7. And 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, so I can go ahead and put that in. So I have 576 centimeters divided by 2. And then again, I'm going to show my work here on the side. So I'm going to divide 576 by 2. Okay, so can 2 go into 5? Yes, it can. It can go into it 2 times. So 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract that, I get 1. And then I can't put 2 into 1 anymore, so I carry down my 7. So 2 can go into 17 8 times. 8 times 2 is 16. And I subtract that, I get 1. Again, I carry down my 6. So I have 16. So 2 can go into 16 8 times. And then 8 times 2 is 16, so I subtract that. And then I get 0. So my number comes to 288. So I can go ahead and put that in. So area, when I divide that together, I get 288 square centimeters. Okay, so here is your last task. So the area of a triangle is 200 square centimeters. The height of the triangle is 16 centimeters. What is the base of the triangle? So this question will be for homework, and then we will take this question up in class.